This is the short collar part of the corset, and this is the corset part. I used organza fabric for this, and it is really beautiful. It is beginner friendly. If you pay attention, I'm sure you will get it because it's quite simple to make. So this is the back of the corset. Okay, so the back is just straight here, while the front is the one with the basque effect. It's an A-line blazer and it is really beautiful, like I said. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So to make this corset blazer, I already have my patterns drafted. Okay, so I'll be working with a shawl collar. This is a shawl collar pattern, and if you don't know how I came about this pattern, I have a full tutorial on how to draft it in the channel already. I'm going to be dropping the link to it in the description box down below. So if you don't know how to draft this, you may want to check it out. So this is my front pattern and this is my back pattern. So I had to draft this because I don't want this video to be too long, and because we already have it on the channel. So for better understanding, I'm just going to be labeling my lines. So this is my chest line, this is my bust point, this is my waistline, and this is my hip line. Okay, and this is the full length. So I'm just maintaining the full length that I have on the paper. So the next thing I'll be drafting now is the corset. So I'm just going to show us the corset pattern that we're going to be working with. Okay, so I hope you can see this well. This is the corset we're working with. So this is the collar. The collar we have here is a notched collar. It's not a short collar. I also have a full tutorial on how to draft this type of collar on the channel already. I may put that also in the description box if that is what you want. Okay, so this is the pattern we are going for, and we'll be making the alterations on this our ready-made short collar pattern that we already have. Okay, so I'll be using the main fabric to cut out the upper part. Like this is divided into like the three pieces. Now we have the upper part, we have the collar effect, we have the from the waist down, which has the corset effect, and then we have the lower part of the blazer. Okay, so now to draft the corset, but we're already through with drafting our short collar. We already have this here. So now the next thing we'll be drafting is the corset part. So to do this now, on my bust point, I'll be going down by 2.5 or 3 inches depending on where you want it to start. Okay, so here I'll be measuring. Let me just use another color of marker so that we will see it well. So here I'll be going down by 2.5 inches. Okay, so from my bust point, not this chest line, from the bust point, I'm going down by 2.5 inches here, and then also I'll be going down by 2.5 inches on this side also. Okay, so after doing that, I'll take my ruler and then connect this together. So what I'm doing now is drafting out my corset part of the dress. And remember, this allowance that you are seeing here is for the buttonhole, assuming you are adding a button to this. So just watch that tutorial. If you watch the tutorial, it's very detailed. You're going to get everything that we have here. So now we are done with the upper part. For the lower part, I'm going to be measuring on this center part. I'm going to be measuring like 6 inches downwards, because 5 inches downwards, because I want it to have like a basque effect. So on this center part here, I'm going down by 5 inches, and then using my ruler again, I'm going to be connecting it from here all the way to my waistline. So if you want yours to be straight, you don't have to go down here by 5 inches, but like I said, I want us to have like a basque effect. So this is a basque effect, like a V shape that we have around here. And if you don't want it too low, you can also go down by maybe 3 or 4 inches, but I want it to be 5 inches, or we can just do like 4.5. And then from that point, I'll be connecting it to my waistline here. Okay, So this red part here is what I'll be using as my corset. So I'm just going to be extending this to my allowance. Okay, I'll just find a way to blend it in like that. So because if you check the picture, you will notice that it extends to our allowance. Sorry. Okay, so you can see it now. It's just extends into allowance. That's why I blended it in like that. So now we are through with doing the first one. We'll draw the corset pattern for the back part also. So I'm just going to shift this to the back part. So what I did here, I'm just going to be maintaining it. So from here now, remember there's no bust points on the back part, so you can easily just measure what we have from our chest line up to this place, and we have like 5 inches. So here I'm just going to, or if you have a long ruler, your ruler, you just extend it from the measurement that you have here, and then you just take it together to your back bodies. That is if you have them drafted together on the same pattern, and if they are separate, you just need to place this front pattern on the back to get where you're going to be drafting it. Okay, so for the lower part, there is not going to be any basque effect on the lower part, so I'm just going to be maintaining what I have here on my waistline. Okay, so this is going to be my corset part. So let me just label this as C for my front, and this is going to be the part for my back panel. Okay, so we are done with the corset part. Now we can cut this out, but before we cut it out, I just want to quickly show us what we have here. So you can actually leave yours like this if that is what you want, but this alteration I'll be doing it when I transfer it to my fabric. If you notice, this has like an A-line effect on the sides like this, and also it has like fish shape on the front. So the button or hook or whatever they used in closing this up, it doesn't extend beyond where this back corset is. So I want to do mine also exactly like this, but if you want to go with the regular corset, you just need to cut this out. Okay, so now I'm just going to be forming this V shape that we have here in front on my front part also, and then I'm going to cut this out. So the lower part here, I'm going to be going inwards by 2 inches, or if you want it extended more than that, you can do that. Okay, so I'll be doing, okay, let me just do 2.5 inches, and then from that point I'll be connecting it straight to where my basque effect stops here. Okay, so that is the effect that I want for it, and this is not going to be on the back. The back is just going to be regular. So when I'm transferring this lower part here to my fabric, I remember to put like an A-line effect. I don't have enough paper, so I cannot do that now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to cut out these patterns. Okay, so I'm cutting out my front corset pattern now. Okay, so this is my corset for my front, and I'll also cut out the dart. So here you may want to label this as your center front, and then you know that this is the upper part. That's why I'm drawing an arrow, and this is the side front. Okay, so that when I detach it, when I cut out my dart, I'll not be confused. So I've cut out the dart now. I hope you understand what we are doing. Okay, so this is the corset part for my front, and then this is the lower part. So when I cut this now, this dart that I have here, I'm going to be taking it on my fabric, and if you don't want to take it, you can close it before you cut it out on your fabric. So these are all the patterns that I have for my front, and then for the back, I'm just going to cut out the corset part also. We did not do too much alteration for the back, so this is just the corset part for the back, and I'll be cutting out the dart. So before I cut out the dart also, I don't want to be confused, So I'm just going to be labeling this center back, side back, and then this arrow is to show that it goes up like that. So now I can cut out the that, because if you cut it out they will look similar. So if you don't label it, you may become confused. Okay, so I have this now. Now I'll be transferring this to my fabric, then I'll bring it back to show us. So I've gone ahead to cut this on my fabric. So this is for my front part, and like I said, it has like an A-line effect, so I just extended the hemline by 4 inches. Okay, if you have more fabric and you have more A-line effects, you can extend it to like 6 inches. And then I connected it diagonally to the upper part like this. So I did the same thing for the back also. So I extended the back also and then connected it diagonally like this. Okay, so this is the front, this is the back. So when you're cutting yours, please remember to add allowances here and here. Remember, you'll be joining it to the corset part. Okay, I don't have enough fabric, so I just have to manage what I have. And this is the upper part also, this is the back, and this is the front. So I cut 4 for each because I'll be using this same fabric to also line it. And this is what I'll be using for my corset. So I cut out this brown organza. I just placed the pattern on it and then I used it to cut it out. So now the next thing is for me to start to sew them. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now, and then I'll look for the one that goes with the other. Okay, so this is my front. So now for my center front, and this is the side front. So I'll take this to the machine now, and then I'm going to join them together. Also the center back and the side back also. Okay, so it's like this. That's why I said you need to label it so that you don't get confused. So here also I'm going to be joining the center back and the side back together. So this is for my organza, and then for my main bodies I'm going to take the dart that I have here for the center back, and for the center front also I'm going to turn this. Okay, so I'm just going to give us a tip on how to sew this shawl collar. So let me remove these pins now. So to sew it, the neckline, remember we normally draft the back neckline together, the back collar together with the front collar. So now these are the two main fabric, and these two will be used for the lining. So for the main fabric on the neckline, I'm going to be joining the neckline together here. Okay, I'm going to sew my neckline together, and when I sew it together I'll have something like this. Okay, so this is going to be my front collar, and this is going to be the hair is going to be my back collar. So when I finish sewing it, I'm going to be showing us how I'm going to sew this back collar to my back neckline. Okay, to sew a notch collar, remember this is the front pattern, this is the back pattern. This is the shoulder for the front, this is the shoulder for the back, and this here is going to be the shawl collar. The collar is going to be like this. Okay, so this is the front part of the collar, and this leftover that we have here is going to be what is going to serve as the back collar. The front and back collar is sewn together. So now we cut 2 pieces for this front collar, which is this. Okay, which is this, and then I went ahead to join it together on the center back. This is the center back of the collar, so I've joined it together. So now to sew this to your back neckline here, we're going to bring in the back pattern. Okay, the back pattern, which is this, and then I'm going to notch the center back. I normally like seams to be at the center back of my jacket, but I'm just doing this for the purpose of the tutorial, but it's not compulsory. I just like it, and I feel it just gives it some form of fitting. So now this is the back and this is the front joined together at the center back collar. Okay, so now this is how it's going to work. So this is the center back of the collar. You're going to match it with the center back of your neckline. Okay, and then this here is the shoulder. Remember, it is this. Okay, You can't find the pattern. Okay, so this is the front shoulder here. So the front shoulder here, you match it with the back shoulder. The front shoulder on the other side also, you're going to match it with the back shoulder. So to sew it, you're just going to match them together like this, and then sew all the way, and then the shoulder also will be sewn together. Okay, so I've done that on the lining. So let me use the lining to show us. So I notched the center back here, as you can see, and this is the center back of the collar also. So on the center back, I just sew it like this together, and then here I join the front shoulder and the back shoulder together. On the other side also, I sewed the neckline to the collar, and then on the shoulder I join the center back, the back shoulder to the front shoulder. So when you turn it out, this is what it's looking like. You can see the shoulder here is joined, and the back collar also is joined, and this is the shoulder of the other side. So when you bring it together like this, you can easily form your lapel. Okay, so this is what our lapel is looking like. You can see, and this is our breaking point right here. So just watch that video on how to draft a shawl collar. It is very explanatory, and I'm sure you'll get it. So we have it like this. I'm just going to join this also so that I can use it to turn each other neatly. So it's that simple to make. So I've sewn this together also. Now to turn the neckline neatly and the collar area, what you just need to do is to put them together, right side facing right side like this. Okay, so don't get confused. This is the back, this is one part of the front, this is the other part, and this is the collar area. So now we want to turn our collar. We're just going to be putting them against each other like this, and then take it to the sewing machine now, and then sew. Okay, so you sew it from here now all the way like this, and then you match it to this place also, and then you sew it so that we can turn it out, and it will be neatly finished. Okay, so for my organza, I went ahead to join them together. Okay, so this is the center front, this is the side front, this is the other center front, the other side front, and this is the center back and the other side back. So after doing that, I just used my normal bias to create like a corset illusion. Okay, so where I have my joinings like this, I just placed my bias on it, and then I sew it. So this is the right side, and this is what it is looking like, because I don't want the video to be too long. So this is the center front, I joined them together here. So this is the center front, and this is the center back, and here is also the center front for the other side, and here is the center back. Okay, and at the center back, because I don't want it too plain, I just used my bias also to join them together like an illusion. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So these are our pattern. This is the center front, side front. So I just joined them together here like this, and the center back and side back are also joined. So when I joined them, I used my bias to create like a corset, like a corset casing illusion. Okay, you can also add the Regina boning to this if you want to, but this is just a tutorial, so I'm just going to put my bias there so that it will really look like a corset. Okay, and then after joining them, I joined the front and back together on the sides like this, and then here I went ahead to tape it. So when I was there is a modification I did for this. I'll not be adding a buttonhole. Okay, so this 1 inch here is for buttonhole. So when I was cutting it on my fabric, I cut off this buttonhole part, because I'm just going to be using a bra hook to join them together here, to hold them together at the center. Okay, so if you'll be using a button, you will need this buttonhole part. So now the neck part is okay. Now I've gone ahead to turn the front, and this is what it's looking like after turning. You can see that our collar is now neat. So after doing that, you need to iron it. So this is the back, the lining and the main fabric is joined together, and you can also see that the neckline also has been concealed for us. So all these rough edges now is neat after joining it. So this is the shoulder. this is the shoulder for the other one also. So you need to iron this very well. And this is our collar. So this is the collar. The blazer is almost done now. So this is the upper part of the blazer, it's ready, and this is the lower part. So this is the back. I've gone ahead to use the lining and the main fabric to turn out each other, so it is also neat. Now this is the back, so I'm just going to take my dart here, and this is the front also. So this is what the front is looking like. Remember, the front is shaped like this. Okay, so we have like a V shape in front. So this is the other front also, and then I've turned it also with the lining. Okay, so this is the front and this is the back. So now the next thing we're going to do now is to join them together on the sides. Yeah, and then I'm going to be shaping the upper part also on this side. So I'm just going to place them like this and then use my allowance to shape it on the side. So I'll shape the upper part and then shape the lower part also before we now join our corset to it. So I've shaped the upper part and the lower part. Okay, so this is what we have. The next thing now is for me to sew in my organza corset to the middle. Okay, so I'm just going to open it up now and then go ahead to sew it to the upper part, and then the lower part where we have our bust corset, I'll also sew it to the lower part. I forgot to mention that here I went ahead to cut one, like 1.5 inch band of my fabric, and then I used it to turn this out like this. Okay, on both sides. So now I'll take this to the same machine now and then sew it, then bring it back to show us what we have. The collar part of the blazer, and this is the breaking point. So I just held this with a pin. You can go ahead and fix like hook, a bra hook on this. So this is the corset part of our blazer, and it is made with organza as we have seen in the video. And this is the style that we created here. So like I said, it's an A-line on the down part, so it's not going to be tight, but you can go ahead and make it a regular blazer if that is what you want. You can see how lovely this is looking, and it is quite simple to make. You just need to pay attention. So this is what it looks like on the back. Okay, so we can see how the back is looking. This is the back collar also, and then this is the corset effect on the back. So the back is just straight like a regular corset, is not a basque effect. The basque effect is just at the front, and this is the A-line lower part of the skirt of the blazer. This is really beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly give this a thumbs up, comment in the comment section, like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.